And we're back.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm eating popcorn.
All right. So Chase had a bit of a kerfuffle and everything like that, and he's woken up now. We're good. We're gonna move on with Chase's life, his miserable little life.
There are worse, terrifying drug trips he could have gone on.
True.
Was that a drug trip?
No.
No.
It wasn't.
There was just like,
Concussion.
chase trip.
He got hit in the back of the head and then started hallucinating. So it's his own thing.
Regular.
Which is why he's now in like the creepiest looking hospital ever.
My eyes wrench open. I'm being dragged. Realizing I have control of my basic motor functions now, I stomp my foot down, staggering free of the grasp and pushing myself against a doorway. I raise my fist defensively, my eyes adjusting to the light.
Almighty!
God.
No!
I told you they used the old art assets.
Oh, I'm sorry, that looks so weird. That does look so weird.
I'm sorry, that doesn't get the same voice. Hold on a second.
Hey, boo-boo!
I mean, that's what
I
it
need
looks.
a new voice for this. This is not my Chase. This is like. Even hold on a second.
Jeez, that art style is so
Oh,
weird.
no, why does
Hey,
Leo
come
have
on. Somebody put...
boobs?
Yeah!
Okay, no. I will point this out. Leo always was considered heavy set. Like, he had a fucking, dad bod. They described him as being dad bodded throughout, the entirety of that
Leo's
go.
buff as shit, though.
He was never buff of shit. He was dad bod central.
Dad bod.
Oh, no.
Dad.
It was
okay.
stated repeatedly. You're the one who
it's mostly-
reimagined him that way.
Yeah,
It's
listen.
mostly his face. I'm okay with the body if the
I'm gonna
face
move
is...
this forward. So here, this is a closer. This is how he's gonna look more often.
Okay, that's
Okay.
better. That's better. Whew.
No,
Okay.
go back to the other one, please. Go back to the other one, please. Hey there, champ. I heard you've been growing up.
Okay, hold on. Alright, cool, I got it. Chase?
No. Do it again.
Chase?
Do it again.
What? Why did it get girlier?
Chase. Oh my god.
Chase. The final frontier.
I will
champ.
sign Leo to someone else if you don't take this seriously.
I can do Leo just
I
fine.
heard you were growing up. Now, things are changing because you're getting to that age. But I assure you, it's all normal.
I will push you out this window, Leo. I will watch you die.
Hey,
Chase,
look,
hurt
I
my
know.
baby, Leo.
13,
Things are
right? This does
changing.
fit.
You might feel a little bit
Oh,
confused.
wow.
but
Oh
it's
my
all
god,
right.
no. I will kill everyone in this town.
There won't be many.
You don't have to
I
worry
counted
about
there's
it.
less than 60 people. If I take out one of you fuckers every minute, I'll be done before the hour's up.
You went through it. I went through it. Your granddad went through it. And now you're going through it.
You're
It's-
dead first.
Chase?
The red wolf stares gobsmacked at me.
Puta madre, Adder.
I lower my paws, trying to get a sense of where I am. That same musty smell means I'm probably back in Parsons, in front of what looks like an old first aid center of some kind. To think that workplace accidents at these sort of places were so common, they needed one of these. Meanwhile,
Required by law and OSHA.
Meanwhile, Leo is gawking at me, his eyes intense, searching. I look down and notice that his knuckle fur is matted with dried blood. I swallow, clearing my throat. The hoarseness is gone, but the pain everywhere else sure isn't. Hey, Leo. Out of all the questions I have, one pushes its way to the forefront. Is TJ okay? The wolf continues to stare at me as if I were some sort of alien.
Yeah, now he is.
I see his nostrils flare, disbelief and anger in his eyes.
His mom's on the way here to pick him up. Heather is down there doing a mix of apologizing and puking. I just left him for a minute to check back on you.
He folds his
The
arms
only
across
one
his
I care
chest,
about.
leaning against the window
Listen,
wall.
I've been with
They
TJ
are not
this
dating
whole
at this
time.
moment. They have not
We've
dated.
been over this. I'm actually a sweetheart until I'm a douchebag. Let me be a sweetheart in this video game, okay?
I'll also point out that, remember, as we stated, people who date Chase, get slowly corrupted. They have not dated at all yet. Not even for one, hour.
Notice how he was, genuinely though, notice how he was checking on TJ this whole time.
Mm. There's a brief silence, and I feel his gaze swivel back to me, as intense as before.
How did this happen? Why were you two here?
Leo's
It's
acting
a party!
thick now, as he tries to speak faster than he can process the words in his head.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that.
I know.
Because that would
You
only
do
come
not.
off as racist.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, we're gonna not do that for this, so.
Okay.
Part of the question has me concerned, though. Just you two? Where's Carl? He was with me before that dick with the trucker hat hit me. I see Leo's jowls rear back in a silent snarl. He looks down the hallway. He starts to shout at someone named Emilia, though I quickly realize he's speaking Spanish. A feminine voice down the hall retorts, also in Spanish. Leo looks back ahead and grunts, closing his eyes for a moment. Then, rather suddenly, they reopen, the big wolf turning to me.
Wait, you said Carl was there? Here?
I nod, then I regret it because my head feels like a mashed apple.
Haven't seen him since lunch.
He was. You told him you weren't doing anything today, but Flynn told us otherwise. Leo doesn't actually look surprised at the reveal, though visible guilt hangs heavy upon his usually confident face. He doesn't immediately respond, instead staring at my battered self in silence. My phone vibrates though when I check my pockets, it isn't there. There is a palpable sheepish moment when my ears flick toward the source. Leo. The wolf blinks, then awkwardly hands me my phone from his own pocket.
We had to call TJ's mom. You're the one with the phone that can get signal pretty much anywhere, so I tried yours.
Carl! Matt?
Unmute.
I'm sorry, I just got the signal. Please be okay, dude.
This is when this is when Chase responds with, "I now know the feeling of being knocked unconscious."
It's fine now. TJ's getting picked up. I'm here with Leo. I hear the sound of someone fiddling with a stereo and an auxiliary cord on the factory floor. Some arguing about music choices ensues. It seems that some people are still around for the party after all.
So, what all did you remember, out of curiosity?
I don't have amnesia, so relax, whatever your name is.
I felt the back of your head. Chica. You've got a welt the size of a goose egg.
I reach up and run my fingers over my scalp, the bump rather prominent. Alright, well... I regale him with the events of the night up to TJ's bullying.
Those towny shits were saying you were pushers trying to harass Heather for some debts.
Fucking what?
Yeah, I don't know. Otter... Fuck.
I kept calling for you. He looks surprised, then scowls at the concrete floor between his feet.
I should have been there to protect all of you.
It seems like someone won the battle for the aux cord in the other room, as the music starts up again. Yep, still vampire culty. Well, I get hit so hard the sky turned red for a bit. Leo's eyebrows raised some. I see his eyes move toward my head bump again. I remember stumbling around outside, looking for you and Carl. I felt like I was walking for ages. The last thing I remember was a van. I see Leo shift, his shoulders rising up as high as they can go. That thing he does when he's tense. He looks at me, expectant.
See anything else?
My brow furrows as I try to recall exactly what transpired. I remember it felt so much different than it does now in hindsight. I think I must have passed out then. Everything else is too hazy to recall. Recall without sounding insane is more like it. Leo's shoulders lower. He seems to be in thought now.
I found you outside on the road. I thought you'd been hit by a car or something. And when I got to TJ, he wouldn't stop crying and smelled like booze. Not that I'm trying to sound like your mom's, eh? But you had me crazy worrying.
He rubs at his raw knuckles.
Got to do it with that Fox guy after that. It has been a weird night.
Why do
Just
even-
you wait. About 10 years from now will be a weirder night.
Actually, not even 10 years. This is 2008 and you're thinking of 2015, so it'd be 7. Not even 7 years. Like 6.5, really. Why are you even here, man? He's taken visibly off guard by that question. The people here are friggin' nuts. He sighs, then slowly lowers himself to a sitting position against the wall on the floor. He motions for me to do the same next to him. And I do, dusting away any leftover broken glass first, though.
A few people from the football team were going. Also, this one person invited me, and I wasn't going to tell them no.
I'm about to ask who that was, but I'm interrupted fairly quickly.
A couple of weeks ago, I was looking for lawnmowers for sale.
Okay?
On Peyton List.
Okay.
And I was bored, so I clicked around a bit. There was this personal dating thing ad posted, and the picture put with it looked like you all censored up.
I feel a cold tingle creep up from my spine to my fingertips at those words.
Hell, I thought I could even see me in the background. So I looked around a little on your phone while you were out. That same picture, but not edited for anything that was saved in your image folder, yeah? I just checked.
I should be feeling angry at this complete invasion of my privacy, but I don't.
Bulls.
I just
Just
feel
you wait, kid.
paralyzed. I've known Leo since he didn't speak a lick of English, playing video games with me and Jasmine after school. He just imitated what we said with a big dumb smirk on his muzzle, as if he was saying something profound. I remember he got really hooked on the phrase, "Double jump that sucker." I've been yelling it at Jazz for like 3 hours when we were trying to beat this platformer game I forgot the name of. From then on, every time one of us was feeling down or facing some challenge, he'd tell us to double jump that sucker with that same smirk. I look over to Leo now, trying to gauge his feelings, but his expression is indiscernible.
Chase, you're like 15. You're already turning to complete strangers on the internet for sex shit? You know, you can talk to me. I wouldn't have even gone to this thing.
He gestures to our surroundings. 2 girls I haven't seen before walk by us in the hall without even a passing glance. I look down, staring at my paws. I went from having chills to feeling like my face is on fire. I shift some from the concrete floor. I try waiting for the girls nearby to be completely out of earshot, though they stop in the hall and start showing each other something on their phones. Leo follows my gaze, letting out a quiet huff.
Come with me.
He rises up to his feet, pulling me up by my wrist. Not having much choice as I'm tugged like a rag doll, I comply. Winding our way through the remnants of the partygoers, I fail to recognize anyone. 1 or 2 say hi to Leo as we pass, though most outright ignore me. I'm increasingly self-aware of how plain I look in contrast to the ripped, blade-donning, pierced face and spiked-haired crowd. The t-shirt and cargo shorts look must not really be in at the moment. We stop finally in front of one of the back exits. There doesn't seem to be any food, booze, or drugs in this part of the factory, so we're alone. Once again, Leo turns his expectant gaze upon me, his brow knit. However, by now, my nerves have evened out slightly, and I decide to counter the earlier question. Why do you care so much what I'm doing? That I am how I am? You didn't tell me about all of this.
You're queer now, eh? I get that. Just, look, you can do much better than some old sags on Peyton list.
What the hell? That was my business, man. Not yours. I just needed somebody to talk to, okay?
So have you?
Have I what?
Met up with anyone? Screwed anyone?
My eyes bulge in such a sharp reaction that even Leo holds up a flat of his paws defensively.
Shit, alright. You really are new to this, huh?
You could say that, yeah. My parents didn't know until this morning. Or, I guess, last morning now.
That's real rough, Otter.
I cross my arms over my chest, letting my chin loll down as I stare at the dusty concrete floor. I'm gonna try and see if TJ is still out front and get a ride home with him. I'll leave you be with your friends. I turn, beginning to move, when I hear a growl from behind me.
Ah! Puchika!
He grabs my shoulder, spinning me around to face him again.
Why do you have to be like this, eh?
I didn't choose to be like this
Aye, aye! Your adorable Daphnis. Do you know how excited I got when I saw that email? And my suspicions were true? It was like a fucking fantasy, you know? Then I started wondering why you didn't tell me. And I got all mad, and now I've ruined this.
It takes me a second to process being called adorable, a fantasy, and the reveal from Leo himself. I blink up at him. He blinks back at me. Wolf bites his tongue for a moment, trying to think before speaking.
I wish I could go back in time and redo this. I'll kick the huevos in that scud who hurt you. I'll protect you from here on out. I won't hide things from you. You are the fucking gold nugget in this shit mine, yeah? I wouldn't be any different than these sloshed up bastards if it hadn't been for you guys.
I bet $10 Leo is currently trashed.
Well, I didn't bag when you were little, yeah?
No, he's not
No.
trashed.
I know.
Crashed, but a little bit drunk, probably.
He might be buzzed, loosed
Yeah,
up
he
a
might be
bit.
a little tipsy.
I think back when you were little, yeah? I don't remember any of what you all were saying. But I just remember being happy because of you and Jazz. And you know, as you grew and shit, I started seeing you different like. You made me happy when I was around you before, but now it's like, I don't know, Otter, can't describe it well. Just a whole new type of happy. Like, you know, I fucking love you, but I love you, you know? So, final point. Don't fuck strangers on the internet.
I mean, that's good advice just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I kind of want to read you this, but like he is a little buzzed in the end. He's just like, so, final point, don't talk to strangers on the internet.
Oh, fuck.
He's in that perfect line where he's too tipsy to not have his filter on, but sober
enough to like
to
know what
realize
he's
it. Yeah, realize at the end, oh, I just did that.
Yep.
My face starts to tingle. My heart thudding so loud in my chest, I'm sure Leo can hear it. I inhale shakily. This can't be happening. I must still be dreaming. I'm cut off as I spy an awkward young shadow leering in the doorway, something bulky in his paws. Leo notes my shift of attention, turning about face to the figure. I see his muscles tense beneath his t-shirt.
Chase, don't leave. I'll be back in just a second.
Yeah, sure. Anything. I bump my knuckles together, watching the large wolf move to the doorway. I see him grab the shadowy fellow by the shoulder, trying to shift him away a little. The unknown guy thrusts what looks like a camera bag and tripod toward Leo. Leo shoves it right back. I see the wolf lean close, his grip tightening on the other. He mutters something. The shadow whinges, his head turning. I think he's looking at me. Starting to feel rather awkward, I approach the two. As I do, however, the figure departs back toward the main factory floor.
I'm never hanging out with anybody but those in our group from here on out. I swear, man.
He curses something in Spanish under his breath. I used equipment like that before when I had to do a video story for our school news. The AV club rents them out to students for school projects. Are you, working on a school project?
Oh, Chase.
I see Leo's muzzle pull into a tight-lipped hold. He steps forward, taking hold of my shoulders.
No. For the love of God, Chase. Please don't ask me about it again.
His demeanor seems more akin to begging than annoyance. Flickers of fear in his eyes. I stand in his grasp, slack-jawed. This is beyond strange, but I can tell he's serious about his request. Alright, but...
Chase.
Leo, are you okay?
I want to get back to town with you, yeah?
I guess I can respect that request. I'm assuming TJ's already been picked up by now. The last I saw the Lynx, he was crying in a beer-soaked puddle. I feel like a complete asshole for not checking in on him in person. Though, at least I wasn't as bad as Carl, who straight up fled home. Poor TJ's probably blaming himself for everything too. Jasmine's stuck at home with her shitty family. Meanwhile, it turns out Leo is gay and likes me. And despite everything, the stuff he described feeling about me, I feel about him. My emotions are so damn conflicted right now, this emo vampire music is actually resonating with me. Leo releases my shoulders and moves towards the back door, tonguing it a few times. He huffs some, then gives it a hard kick with his foot. One of the hinges snapped, and the door falls into a hanging diagonal position. With a swift stop, the other two hinges snap off as well, leaving the metal door on the floor. We could have gone out the front.
Well,
He stares at the door at his feet before looking up at me.
wouldn't have been as rebellious. You like destruction of property, don't you?
I break a mirror at one rest stop when I was 8.
Because you didn't get the toy you wanted in your kiddie meal.
He smiles teasingly at me, the moonlight illuminating his backside. I can see the faint purples in the sky can see the faint purples in the sky of inevitable sunrise as well. Hey, you know we don't have fast food joints like that around here. That was my one chance of getting that figurine from that stupid dinosaur movie.
Your hand was so damn bloody, I thought you were the coolest.
There is a pause.
I only like you when you're beat up, Chase. Like right now, you got the shit beaten out of you.
You're beating up mirrors.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe he's been...
Oh. Oh no.
I'll probably bleep that joke, actually.
Yeah.
That was not the direction I was going with that. Oh my gosh,
Oh, my
Alan.
Lord.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think we're gonna bleep that joke.
Okie dokie then.
I stepped past him into the fresh, far less musty air. The faint scene... God, I cannot talk. I stepped past him into the fresh, far less musty air. The faint scent of Leo's cologne now more palpable. I crossed my arms, staring down at the rusty metal of the fire escape-like stairwell.
I still do.
Fuck, it scared me!
What?
He just pops. I was reading and paying attention to you guys, and he just pops up from my left side, standing on my chair looking at me.
Oh, your cat?
I am not even in your room right now.
I am
No,
in your room right now.
was
You
like-
should be scared.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how did DJ scare you?
Or
No,
no, I picture Leo just pop. Not me. Not me. Like, not me, but me just popping in like her,
Yeah, no,
Have you seen
if Leo
Chase?
popped in my room, I
Listen,
would also be scared.
Listen, Sam. Nobody gets hurt if you tell me where Chase is. Do you understand?
I don't know, he scared me.
Wait, TJ?
I mean,
And this
Where
is when I, like,
is
avoid talking, because there's no way. Oh, bullshit, man. I try to maintain a healthy amount of skepticism for his words for now. Though, looking at him now, and having known Leo long enough, I don't sense any visible signs of deception. My dad actually suggested I'd be a decent journalist, since I'm pretty good at reading people and their emotions. Though he might have said that to try and dissuade me from videography. Leo begins to descend the stairway, keeping his paws hovering above the great guardrail, just in case. I pull up my phone, using the screen as a flashlight for us.
I'm serious. You act so damn level-headed all the time. Everyone else in our group, not to be insulting them or nothing, because they're family, but they could be pretty out there, eh? You're always so calm and balanced, though.
You mean generic and boring, man.
Nah, like you're always hanging in the background, almost invisible-like. And then you say some snarky shit, and everybody loses it. Like a rock.
A rock that snarks.
You're observant, yeah? Like Flynn, but less of an insulting shit about it. My parents, my siblings, they love you, dude. Mom's always asking me when Chase is gonna come around again.
We reach the end of the stairway. The insides of my ears probably ruby red at this point.
Mhm.
The back lot of Parsons is mainly composed of old piles of dirt and some foundation, like they were planning on expanding before they shut down. I'm not gonna fuck internet people. You can ease up on the compliments. I turn and smirk at Leo, a little in disbelief that those words just left my mouth.
It's Carl's job, not his.
We start walking.
Good. I have no clue what you're into, actually.
Honesty.
Aww.
Leo
which
looks
is not
a little-
you.
Yeah, no, because remember, he was hiding things, and Chase is pointing
Yep.
it out.
Wolves.
Leo looks at me a little
Okay.
warily, that same guilty expression crossing his muzzle once again. And, muscles, I guess. I see Leo's eyes light up, his maw pulling into a fangy grin. It actually is a pretty frightening visage in the middle of the night, were it anyone but Leo. Predators, man.
You should come to more of my games if you want to see those.
The internet exists too.
Yeah, and how'd that work out for you earlier?
I feel the pang of remembrance and the ensuing feelings of shame all over again. This whole night did exactly what I wanted after all. Distracted me from my problem. I feel Leo's eyes on me, his face softening. He places his paw on my back.
You missed a lot this season. You weren't even at homecoming.
The tickets were like $30.
To homecoming for high school?
Somehow.
Oh
Yeah,
my
man,
god.
that's why.
What
That's
high
why I
school
didn't
football
go to.
games are they going to?
Yeah, I was gonna say, for us, we got in for free.
Well, that's
Oh,
the price
man.
I spent to go to, like, insert large college university peers games.
Yeah.
No, that's accurate for how much it would have cost me to go to homecoming.
Are you shitting me
I
right
think
now?
homecoming.
I never
Nope.
went to homecoming.
How much
I
Oh,
didn't.
high
Yeah,
school?
I didn't go to homecoming because it was like $30 for tickets. I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
think my
spent-
own homecoming. I think my homecoming was like $50.
What?
I didn't-
The
I
dance,
didn't-
sure.
I didn't go to-
Football game.
I got into the football game for free because I was.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
marching dance, so I was,
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
was free.
that's why I went. I didn't go to see the football players as Chase would have. Although I
I-
did have friends
For
that would stare at their
for
asses.
high
That's the
schoolers,
thing.
like for any sports things, we basically got in any of our sports things for free.
Dude, it was like $3, maybe 5. That's
No.
$30 is what I spent to see a large state schools team.
DJ, we get
play.
it. You went to the nicest high school that ever existed. Good for you.
No.
One of the reasons
I
I didn't-
went to a
I'm
fancy
joking
schmancy
with you,
college,
DJ.
not high school.
Oh no,
One of the
we're
reasons-
in high school still.
One of
No,
the reasons
my-
I didn't go to
this-
prom was because it was like $200.
Yeah.
200?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
we
the
weren't.
F?
Yeah, we weren't that upset.
I thought my prom was expensive at like 100.
Oh no, we weren't upscale. We were just poor.
Yeah, because usually
Oh, your
when it came
school
to like
didn't
those
pay
types of
for it.
events, yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
what happens for those types of events. It's all basically charged by the committee that runs it, which is usually like student council, and and they're basically the ones setting the prices because they're like, oh, if we charge everyone $200, which everyone's parents can afford $200, blah blah blah, we can afford to get all these fancy things for our prom. Like that's the
Yeah.
thought process that goes into it typically.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Well, ours we basically, our council would usually try to fundraise in different ways.
Did you guys go on like something super fancy after prom too?
It wasn't, so we did have an after prom thing, but that was like back at the high school. And I mean, and they did rent out like a couple of like balloon things. Like, you know,
My
like,
prom took place in our school's gym.
Yeah, no, my prom took place in like a wedding venue basically.
mine was actually, it, bleep this out, mine actually happened in the,
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Since
and
we're
like it-
bleeping things, mine happened in a hotel in
Nice.
like it was like a fancy ritzy hotel, and like I remember we were dancing so much and people were jumping so much that they actually had to send someone up to our floor that the prom was happening on to tell us to not dance because the chandelier on the floor below was about to fall.
That is like
I
the
would've kept
greatest prom
dancing.
story ever.
moles. I bet from that point on, they're like, yeah, no, we're not doing any more proms.
Well, that was my last year in high school, so I didn't have to worry
Sorry,
about it.
Georgie. Sorry, baby boy. I kicked the bad boy. I kicked the bad with my on.
The hotel is like, shit, we're not dealing with all these teenagers.
Sorry, baby.
Breaking our
Yeah,
chandelier.
and then the after prom was at a bowling alley.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's fun.
But yeah, $30 for homecoming. I'm mad.
I mean, that's pretty cheap from what I remember, but okay.
I mean, for the dance, that's fine. But for the
Yeah.
game?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't
Our
think
games were like
I don't
$5
even
a
think we even
person.
paid that much for the dance, to be honest. Although I don't remember. It's
Oh,
been
see,
long enough.
yeah, I'm
period
thinking of the
time.
dance as well because
We-
I never attended a single football game at my high school.
We didn't have a football game for our homecoming. Our school was too poor to have a football team.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, my school had a football team. The only reason I ever attended, though, was for the band. There was a band show with a game on the other sides of it.
See, I was just a bad friend. I had two friends that were literally on the football team, and I never went to a single game.
I went to all the football games, but again, like Sam, I was in the band, so I kind of needed to be there. Although it was kind of fun.
I still think that next year, since it'll definitely be like your last year assigned as a student, you should just be like, screw it, I'm in this.
There was.
Thanks for another thing I had to bleep, DJ.
And
You're
while we're bleeping things out, there was one point where I was debating about trying out for but
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, their games, speaking of which, were $30 to attend for students.
yeah.
Their college televised games were $30 a student.
We should really stop talking about how we all went to school in Connecticut.
Excuse me, I went to school in Oregon.
Really, I thought we were in Ohio.
Nobody goes to Ohio.
I really like Kansas.
Wow, this is really far from Florida.
Dude, Louisville is a legit city.
Oh man, you know, at least we're not in Springfield. Ugh.
Louisville
prefer
is
Vancouver.
a city.
Dude, let's go to... remember that time that we all went to school in New Orleans?
Yeah, yeah.
Mardi Gras is
No, that
Especially
was-
the time where we went
DJ,
to
DJ,
Mexico
that was
City.
season 4. We don't talk about season 4. That's when the gas leak happened.
Oh,
I'd like to go to
no.
New Orleans.
But yeah, the
That
one in
seems pretty
Alberta.
It is cool. I recommend it.
Alright. I'd say...
Let's dig in, yeah.
Oh, here I was going to talk about season 5 where we all went to school in Hong Kong.
Can we?
Yeah, let's
I think you
move
want
on.
to be in Hong Kong right
Alright,
now.
yeah, we should definitely get back to this, so...
Yeah.
I was saving up for that multiplayer driving sim game with Carl. We eventually played it for like 3 hours and never touched it again.
We won by only a few points, and I got 2 touchdowns. If you were there, I would point to the stands where you were and everything. Embarrass the shit out of you, eh?
I wouldn't be embarrassed. I'd be... well, I am proud of you. In the past, I'd vocally lamented Leo's ascension to jockhood, especially his douchebag townie teammates.
Bah.
Now it's Leo's turn to be dubious. He clicks his tongue against the roof of his mouth, shaking his head.
You and Carl just think I'm a different person now that I play varsity.
Carl and I would poke fun at him about it, and I think our jokes genuinely upset him. I never really properly apologized about all that. In reality, I just didn't like the fact that he spent most of his after-school time at practice. I miss him. You're not. You've always been a block-headed ball slinger. That hasn't changed. Leo lets out a deep chortle.
You're gonna join the cheerleading squad now for me, Otter.
I ain't flexible enough for that. You think I can do a high kick?
No, but I'd pay $1 to see you try.
Coming to a stop, I look down at my stubby legs. $1 is $1. That's 1/4 of what I need to get a burger at the diner. You're not gonna film this too? The wolf's shoulders tense, his gaze snapping me.
Chase, you said...
Said I wouldn't ask about it. Doesn't mean I can't tease you about it. He huffs, but I can tell that sort of cheered him up in a way.
Don't mention it around the group, okay?
I make a circle with my fingers in the gesture of acknowledgement. I make sure there is no errant shrubbery around me before directing my muscles in my leg to lift my right leg as high up as it will go.
Right
Turns
after
out-
you got the shit beaten out of him?
It turns out that is barely a 60-degree angle from its stationary position.
Get it going, guys.
Oh, have a good night
Have a
then,
good
Sam.
night.
Have a good
Yeah.
friend.
Sam.
Nine.
I hear the wolf snigger.
Oh, come on. I'm just a sack of furry stone, and even I can kick higher than that.
We're 2 different species. Give me a break.
Work for that $1, Chase.
Oh my god.
Defy species norms and negative stereotypes, as Jasmine says.
There are physical limitations here that no third-period social science class can overcome. And I don't think an otter being paid to perform for a wolf's amusement is exactly a progressive act.
I believe in you.
He says that as saccharine and schmaltzy as possible, eliciting an eye roll from yours truly. I lift my leg, this time bracing my hands underneath my thigh and pushing up. I manage to get the thigh itself much higher, though I'm having trouble fully extending at the knee. Leo notices and steps over, taking my calf and holding the small of my back supportively, so I don't tip over. My muscles are starting to burn something fierce, and the position is pretty damn compromising. I frown as hard as I can up at Leo, who bursts into laughter.
Oh, okay. Now, I wish I was filming this, Otter.
Dude! I wriggle free, rubbing my now sore leg before continuing onward. True to his word, Leo fishes his wallet out of the back of his jeans and hands me a crisp $1 bill. I pocket the dollar,
Jesus,
looking
that's
back
different.
over toward Leo. I heard you. Don't I get a tip?
The tip comes later.
Jesus Christ. I bury my face in my paws, groaning in contrast to the baritone cackling of the wolf beside me. Jokes like that have a whole new meaning after tonight. As I peek through my fingers, I see that the sun has crested the edge of the mountains, and the world is bathed in glimmers of orange. I've been up for nearly 24 hours now, and my body feels more tingly than tired. We start walking besides the main road now, the lack of vehicle traffic giving an eerie stillness to the desert. Neil walks close to me, to the point where our paws brush up against each other from time to time. So, that party. One of Leo's large ears flicks in my direction before he turns, canting his head curiously.
Yeah?
That wasn't very Day of the Dead-y, was it? He shakes his head.
No, it was not. I think some of those deadbeats thought it had to do with the movie. I only really remember celebrating it once in my home country. Though, I wouldn't really say it was a celebration, yeah? I just remember my mom, dad, and siblings gathering in a cemetery. We placed orange marigolds in front of the abuela's grave, lit candles, and ate quesadillas.
Carl would like that last part.
Yeah, no shit.
The prospect of food actually helped him get over his social anxiety to come with me. I see Leo's face shift to a more tight frown.
Fuck, man. Probably made his issue so much worse. They barely had any freaking food, too. Some tool named Robert just brought a bunch of fruit.
Better than nothing.
But yeah, I remember we just talked about that. We just talked about the loved ones who had passed, told stories, and sort of acted like they were there.
So, do you actually believe that? Those who have passed can listen in on us when we want them to? He looks up for a moment, the colors of the sunrise now matching the hue of his fur. Sweat stains are visible around his armpits, his knuckles are still bloodied, and his head fur is a complete mess. That being said, it is kind of a good look for him. Not so much for yours truly, though.
No.
His gaze shifts back ahead, his tone neutral.
But it helps living, you know? You still gotta get by.
A silence hangs between us. It's pretty obvious that his mind has drifted to memories of Sydney. Mine as well. This sort of awkwardness is common now. Sharing trauma like that and carrying on like nothing happened is usually our go-to. It has been about 4 years now, and it hasn't gotten any easier. Too many reminders here. We're all fucked up from it. Leo's overprotectiveness, Carl's anxiety, Jasmine's escapism, Flynn's rage, my hallucinations, and TJ. God, poor TJ. Maybe next year we could try...
Chase.
Leo looks at me, his eyes meeting my own before drifting to my paw. Slowly he reaches over, grasping mine in his.
I just want to move on to cherish what I got, yeah? I want to...
I can hear the word forget upon the tip of his tongue, but he can't bring himself to say it aloud. Instead, he squeezes my paw tighter. I squeeze back. My therapist told me that I should talk about it more, but it isn't something I can just broach in between talk of football and video games.
You're a shit way to kill any good feelings in the area. That's for sure.
Like right now,
Otter.
he brings our paws up in front of us, forcing me to look at our own interlaced fingers. Seeing the size difference, the red fur gripping my own, it's enough to make my neck feel hot and my heart thud heavily.
Look at what we're doing right now. We can shoot that sad shit about how tragic everything in Echo is, or we can go against the grain and be happy. I say let's be fucking happy.
Leo smiles down at me, letting her paws fall back to her sides. Despite his motivational wording, I can tell from the gleam in his eyes that he's nervous. His usual confident bravado shaken up in this new territory. I don't blame him. They say this sort of thing is supposed to give you a butterflies in your stomach feeling. Yet as we walk along the abandoned Route 65, I feel less like I have butterflies and more like I'm about to jump out of a fucking plane. It isn't that simple, Leo.
Well, fuck it. Let's pretend it is for a while and see how that goes.
What exactly are you asking for? He rubs his forehead. His fanged teeth briefly grin.
I don't know how to explain it. Just cheer up.
That wasn't exactly eloquently put, even by Leo's standards. I haven't eaten anything since lunch, swam or slept in 24 hours. I've been beaten in the head, wasn't able to save TJ from getting bullied to hell. And my parents caught me looking at gay porn and now will never look at me the same way again. I still have to deal with that. I'm not exactly in the best of mental estates at the moment. Though this, I gesticulate to the two of us with a swirl of my free hand, is, helping. Freaking me out for sure, but I'm glad you're here.
We'll make all that right. I bet Jasmine will be squealing when she hears about this shit. This is just like one of her comics. The mangos?
Mangas. Turns out she actually reads that
Mangas.
yaoi stuff, after all I learned.
That's that one anime porn with the twinky triangle types, right?
I nearly choked trying to contain my laughter. Are you familiar with it, Leo?
Yeah, of course I'm familiar with it. I got a whole bunch of files with that sort of stuff saved in my sample music folder on my PC. Nobody ever looks in there.
Looking up at Leo, he looks genuinely happy now. I mean, a bit sweaty, fidgety, and blood splattered. But so am I. Right now, I just have to focus on not ruining this. Don't ever get too comfortable with that sort of thing. I did. Now everything's fucked for me in the eyes of my folks.
Man, your mom is the nicest lady. I can't imagine her kicking you out or anything.
I'm not worried about that. God, getting kicked out almost sounds preferable than having to face them every day with them having seen me like that. Imagine if your parents found your yaoi folder and how they'd see you from then on.
Well, I shouldn't have been going through my shit in the first place. I think Mama already knows about me being gay, though.
What?
She kept asking me if Jasmine, yeah? It was annoying me, and I just up and said she wasn't my type. Mama kept prodding me. Why?
Okay, so he's faking his mother's accent, so he's like going falsetto on this.
Why, Leonardo? She is a smart one, and she has cared for you in the times of need on countless occasions.
I tried to restrain a snicker at Leo's impression of his mother, the accented, high-pitched cadence rather right on the nose. Leo hears my suppressed titters, looking down at me with a feigned scowl before hip-bumping me. I nearly go careening off the side of the bike lane into the sagebrush-filled side basin, but he yanks me back by my paw he's holding. I try to imagine Leo and Jasmine together. It makes sense, I guess, but it is weird to think about. Puberty in general has made things so much different.
He went on asking exactly what my type was. I think I was frustrated or something, and after a bad practice session I said, not girls.
My eyes widen, picturing the confrontation in my mind. Jeez, what happened next?
I regretted saying it. Mama could see that plain enough on my mug, yeah? She just clicked her tongue, told me to let her know when I felt like talking more about that.
I'm assuming you haven't really followed up on her offer?
No, Chase, I have not.
There's silence between us, mostly because I'm trying to think of a response that isn't, well, I have it worse. Before I can speak, we approach what looks like a short dirt driveway that leads us up to a shack of some sort. Leo stops and points toward it.
Let's cut through here and head to my house through the rail yard. I don't want to deal with Jeremy right now in case he's awake and outside his house.
I sincerely doubt that Jeremy and Clint would be out and about being dicks this early on a Saturday, but I don't argue and follow along. Upon closer inspection, it looks like one of those roadside dive bars you see a lot on the reservations. This one boarded up fairly recently. The Joshua trees and the old-timey pickup truck give it an out-of-place feeling. As far as I know, Joshua trees aren't native to this area. Huh. Never heard about this place before.
I have. It was open for a little while a year or so ago.
Yeah? It would have been the first new business I've heard of around here since I was like 7, I think.
Like I said, it didn't last long. Heard from Charlie the owner got busted for some fucked up shit that Officer Mallcop, found in the back room.
Christ.
I wonder if that's on purpose. I mean, this is from Charlie, so I wouldn't believe all of it.
Like, what specifically? Leo shrugs, a light frown on his muzzle.
I don't know. You wouldn't tell me.
We continue moving, Leo kicking an errant bean can along in front of us as we walk. Can't believe Charlie's still alive. Turns out absurd amounts of meth is the secret to a long lifespan.
Now if I find out you've been taking it out her, I'll shorten your fucking lifespan real quick.
He smirks at me, and I roll my eyes, glancing back at the side of the abandoned bar as we pass. Keith and Brian's booze bastion. So I'll just briefly mention that thing with Keith and Brian. You guys know Brian, right?
Yeah, dude. No.
Wait,
Yep.
is it that, Brian?
Yes, it is. And you guys actually learned about Keith earlier in this game.
Was Keith that one douchebag that beat the shit out of?
No.
Keith is her son, the bus driver's son.
Keith is Karen's son.
Huh.
So I have two questions. One, is Keith the person that Brian said he outed as gay and had to leave?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say, like, Keith isn't in the mine too, is he?
Considering that Karen has no idea where Keith is, she said he might as well be dead to me, and Keith is never seen again in the story, but is actually referred to in a couple of different routes as being somebody that a lot of people cared about and then just vanished one day. It's highly suspected that, yeah, he's dead in that mine.
Okay.
Keith?
Either way, let's go back to a nicer topic.
I'd say I probably should.
Oh, should we wrap it up here then? Because, yeah, we're right at the end of the game, but we can
Yeah,
wrap it up here.
10:30.
Okay.
Is this the end? Is this the end?
Is this
Yeah,
the end of the route? Like,
Yeah, this is the end, but it will probably be like 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. No,
So if you need to call it, we should probably call it.
yeah, we should probably call it because I have a bunch of work to do that I haven't done yet.
Alright, so then let's go ahead and say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.